Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the Daily Lessons Podcast. This is going to be episode number 10. I'm Yusha, your host as always, and the creator of the podcast. Of course, I got to give myself credit for that as well. And today we're going to be talking about how to get a job. Okay, now this advice and this episode in particular is going to be focused more on people who are still in college and looking for internships, or just fresh college graduates as well. You can probably take this advice if you've already been working in the field, because it's very generic advice, but I do think that it's still helpful. But I do believe that this is going to help more of like the freshly graduated or like the fishy adults of the world. So let's get into it, right? So the very first thing that I want to talk about is some of the legwork that already should be done, especially if you're like a junior or a senior in college and you're looking for an internship. Now, if you're a freshman or a sophomore in college, don't worry, you can still heed this advice as well. But if you're a senior and you're about to graduate, it may be a little bit too late, but that's okay because we have a solution for you as well. Okay? Number one, always remember that it's not about what you know, it's always about who you know. Okay? When I was in college, one of my boys, he was actually working at a Fortune 500 company. I think it was a Fortune 500. I don't know, but it was a pretty big company. They had offices all across the U.S. and he was working there, and I was just working like a retail job at the time, right? So I'd been boys with him for about like a year or two by this time, and I asked him like, hey, if his company was hiring, and he was actually able to say that yes, they were. I applied, I interviewed, he referred me as well, and I ended up getting the job. And then I actually got into the company, and I was able to put that on my resume, which eventually led to the full-time job that I got after I graduated, right? Now, and actually what also happened is that because of him referring me to his company, we got to work together, of course, and we had a pretty good friendship. And I actually I left that company that I was working at, and then I eventually got another job as another co-op somewhere else. And guess what I did? I referred him to my company, the current company that I was working at, because he was out of a job then. So it goes both ways, right? It's always about who you know, not necessarily what you know, right? So obviously you need to focus on the material that is being taught in class and everything like that, and you need to focus on building like your portfolio on your personal projects. But really, it's always about connections as well. It's always about referrals, okay? Companies just in general, they are always going to want to hire based off of either referrals or something else, which I'm going to get into later on in this video. But they would much rather hire from referrals rather than just a cold online application, because obviously they don't know anything about you if you're just applying online, and your resume is probably going to go through some automated software, which is going to look for some keywords on your resume, and you might not ever get a call back. You might just get a rejection email. So referrals definitely help a lot, especially if you have a lot of friends. Do not be afraid to ask them if their company is hiring, okay? What's the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is they're going to say no, right? But you have to realize that it's always going to be a no until you actually ask. So you might as well just ask. You're not risking anything, and honestly, you're probably not even going to think about it in about 2 weeks' time. So just go ahead, take the risk, and ask any of your friends or colleagues or acquaintances, hey, is your company hiring? I'm looking for an internship. I'm looking for a job, etc., right? Now, the second thing, right? So let's say, for example, you don't have that many friends. You didn't get the time to. You had to work full time, and you had to still go to college and attend classes, and you had to take care of your parents. You had to do something, right? Basically were trying your best to survive in your financial state, and you just weren't able to make any friends. Or maybe you're just an introvert and you just don't like talking to people that much, right? Well, good news. There's still a way out for you, okay? And that way out is the second way that I feel like is the best way of getting a job, which is going to career fairs, okay? Now, I know what you're thinking if you're introverted. Oh, man, that's going to be mentally and emotionally exhausting. I'm going to have to talk to people. I'm going to have to present them my resume, and I'm going to be repeating so much of the same information that I have on my resume to so many different employers that are there at the career fairs? Well, I know it's painful, it's dreadful, but tough luck. You have to do something in order to gain something, right? So this is just the price to pay to get a job, okay? Especially if you don't have any referrals, okay? I would 100% go to career fairs, and I would definitely talk to whoever is actually hiring for the position that I'm looking for, or just the job description that I'm looking for. And I would just go ahead, talk to them. Maybe you'll leave a good impression, and just go about it like that. I got my own internship. I got 2 internships, actually. No, just 1 internship, actually, from a career fair. And that internship was probably one of the best internships that I actually got. And I've worked I think 2 or 3 internships. So yeah, go to career fairs, okay? Now, let's say, for example, you're doing all these things and you still don't have a job, right? Or maybe you're still in the process of applying and these companies are still trying to reach out to the candidates that they're actually really interested in. Here's what you need to do in the meantime, okay? Number 1 is you need to make sure that you're taking advantage of all the resources that are around you, okay? Now, one of the resources that are always around people that I feel like college students like myself, we never took advantage of is the resources we're probably already paying for, like, the recreational centers, like the big-ass recreational centers that they build. Yeah, it's all for free. It's all going with your tuition. You don't need to pay for an extra gym membership. Just go to the damn rec center, okay? That's a little personal rant. I'm sorry, that has nothing to do with this video or this topic, but that's okay. Go to their career center, okay? Most universities, at least the university that I attended, they had this career center where they would actually look at your resume. They would fix it up. They would even they would even do like mock interviews as well to help you with like your interviewing skills, which is really important, okay? Now, especially for the behavior interviews, obviously the technical interviews, you kind of just need to know it and you need to practice the questions or whatever it is, depending on your job or the job that you're looking for. But they'll help you with all of these things. They'll help you put like keywords on your resume. They'll help you change like there's a difference between putting babysitter on your resume and putting let me check my notes real quick. What did I put? There's a huge difference in perception between putting babysitter on your resume and a child care associate, okay? I made that up on the fly. I wrote that on 7 a.m. today, okay? Give me a break if it doesn't sound good, but that's fine. It's okay, okay? But what I'm trying to say is that it makes a huge difference on what you put on your resume. Like if you just put like a bank teller versus like a money manager, like if you say money manager, I'm like, damn, that boy ballin'. But it makes a difference for the companies as well. And I definitely think that you should use that resource in particular, especially for career centers if in your university, if they have those, which I'm fairly certain that they do. You probably just need to look on their website or just ask around, okay? Number 2, use the internet. The internet is your biggest resource, especially nowadays. ChatGPT. Whatever it is, whatever issue that you have, whatever problem that you have, okay, just use ChatGPT. I promise you it will work, okay? Here's what I would do if I was a college student and I'm looking for a job and I need to fix up my resume, okay? This is exactly how I would use ChatGPT, so pay close attention to it, okay? First of all, I would myself, and this is going to require some manual work, but I would myself first go ahead and just make a rough draft of a resume that I want, okay? If you guys need any help, if you guys need me to look over it, I will be more than happy to do that. Just reach out, leave a comment down below. I'll connect with you guys somehow, okay? Or just DM me on Twitter or something, okay? This is what I would do. I would first go ahead and I would create a rough draft of a resume that I have with all of my experience and all my education and my GPA and everything, right? Okay, after I have my first draft available, I would just go on ChatGPT and I would open up my resume and I would basically just copy and paste that into ChatGPT, okay? I would tell ChatGPT, hey, help me make this sound more professional, help add more keywords to it, right? Okay. After we're done with that, we have a very first draft of a professional resume, okay? I say first draft, okay? Because we're going to edit it a little bit more. Here's what we're going to do, okay? What we're going to do, let's say, for example, you want a job as a data analyst, okay? This is what we're going to do. Pick any companies, pick like 5 companies or whatever, and then go on their careers section on their website, and then go on the data analyst position itself. They're going to have something called key responsibilities, or something that basically describes the job and what an employee that will be doing at that company, okay? This is what I want you to do. After you've done all of that with your resume, go on the key responsibilities for that job position that you want to apply for, copy that, paste it into ChatGPT, and say, hey, ChatGPT, tailor make my resume into these different responsibilities, and it'll throw out your resume like that as well. Okay, so what this will do is that, since a lot of these companies that are trying to hire you or just hire anybody, they're using AI automation softwares that filters out your resumes based on keywords, okay? And you're looking for those keywords, so make sure that you just put in your prompt to ChatGPT that, hey, make sure you include like keywords based off of the job description, okay? So that's your second draft. Now, you're pretty much golden. You're pretty much ready to apply to any job that you want to online, or just present it at a career fair. If you want to take the extra mile, which I think you shouldn't have just one single resume though, okay? You should have like 3 or 4. What I mean by this is what I mean by it, okay? If you are interested in positions like a data analyst or a software engineer or a product manager, okay? None of those jobs, those jobs might have some overlap in responsibilities, but none of those jobs have the same exact responsibilities or the same exact day-to-day routine between them, okay? So this is what you need to do. You need to go ahead and copy and paste the job responsibilities for those positions as well. You paste that into ChatGPT, and you need to basically have a resume for every single position. And you need to go out and you need to apply, and you need to talk to people. You need to build your references. That's the best part. You need to build those connections. It'll teach you how to be more social, and people will actually like you. And obviously, you need to go attend these career fairs as well. Those are really just 3 things that I would personally do. I did 2 of those things, but that's because ChatGPT wasn't out when I was in college. If it was, I would still do this. But let me know if I can help you out in any type of way. I would love to help really anybody like get a job or start their career, or in any way I can help you. Please let me know. This is Yusha. This was the daily lessons, episode number 10. I hope you guys enjoyed, and remember to hit that like button and hit subscribe for me as well. This is Yusha signing out. Bye, guys.